What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've been off for a few days. I haven't been keeping up on this, so there's been a few things that kind of like slipped past me. One of them that passed me up a few days ago, and I've been seeing a lot of postings on this, is a UFO that resembles. Well, people are making a comparison of this to an F-117. It's kind of interesting. ProPixel does an analysis on this, and we're going to check that out so you can kind of see what he has to say. Anyways, you guys, like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And let's check this out. Let's see what you guys think. All right, guys, so this is what I was telling you right here. This is the comparison. So it does have a very similar look to the F-115. That's what people seem to be comparing it to. Here is ProPixel's his perspective on it. He's going to take a look at this and we'll
It's
get a
not
clearer
carrying
look.
something. All right, we got another UAP recorded out of the cockpit window at 14,000 feet. The poster says 22,000, but it's actually 14,000. So this one's pretty interesting, and let's go through the details of it. But first, let's go right to the original post that I pulled this from. This is, I believe it's over Colombia, Antigua, Colombia. January 6, 2025, airline pilot flying at 22,000. Actually, if you look right here, it's 14,000 feet, right? So it's not actually 22,000, but this is the original post. And there it goes, floating on by, black. It's got two little legs that kind of pop out, almost like it's saying hello. So that's
a weird one, man. Check this out. Look at that. Because it's not flying. You know what I mean? It's like sitting up for it. It's just kind of, I don't know if it's moving or what, but it's a weird way to fly. Is basically what I'm saying. It's interesting.
it's got two little legs that kind of pop out, almost like it's saying hello. So that's the original post. And let's look at the details. So I did what I usually do is separate it out into a couple different slides so we can take a look at some individual details of it. On the left hand side, it's zoomed in with a little bit of contrast added so we can see some detail. Center is basically the same, the original post with no change in any of the color space or anything like that, just zoomed in a little bit so we can get some details. And then this is a contrast edge detect so we can see if there's any goofiness in the compression that would show us anything that says this may be nefarious or something isn't right with what we're seeing. And from what I could tell here, there's nothing outrageous that I'm seeing. All the compression looks correct. This appears to be something that's actually in the scene. The color of it, meaning the shadows and how it matches the other darks in the frame, line up. So color space wise between foreground, background, and the object are all similar. So I'm not seeing anything in here, nothing in the data or the details that's telling me that this is fake. So I believe that the pilot actually recorded something that he saw floating on by his airplane. Here's a different way to present the data. I have edge detect, embossment, and a bunch of adjustments to the color, luminosities, and all that kind of stuff just to get as much detail as we possibly can. My goal for this was to see if there's any payload hanging off of this, right, to show that this would be, a weather balloon or some other scientific instrument. And as it passes in front of all the light color, you can see there's nothing there. There's no frame. I looked at every frame, and there's not a single frame in here that indicates that there's something hanging off of this. And I also did a very high contrast with more adjustment to the color luminosities, across the different 3 RGB color sources. And again, I don't see anything in here that shows there's any payload or anything hanging off the belly of this thing. So it's not carrying something. So we can eliminate, at least to me, that says we can eliminate like a weather balloon or some other scientific instrument. It still doesn't eliminate balloon altogether, but it eliminates the at least that aspect of it. Here we have a pretty good zoom in with the details. So let's take a look at that. And I just have this looping over and over again so we can see what it looks like, how it's moving, any details that we can pull out of it. And what I see, it's a very flat object, meaning there's very little to no definition to it, right? It's like one color. I don't see any reflections coming off of it. The sun has to be on the other side because we're not seeing.
You know what's weird about this one? If you look at it very carefully, just watch it. Parts of it right here, where my mouse cursor is at, it kind of fades in and then out. Like right here, you can kind of see a shadow of it right here. We keep hitting play and pause. I bet you we could
Any
catch. It's like right here. No longer looks like a solid image.
sun reflection.
Right here. The frame prior to that, it looked like a solid image. Now, if you look at it, you can see how it's a little transparent right there. A little transparent there as well.
Here.
And again, transparent. That's an interesting one. I don't know if this effect that we're seeing here is a cause of the camera, but yeah, that's interesting.
Here. So I'm assuming the sun is on the far side of this object.
So yeah, look, it's actually changing shape.
Obviously, if it's
So look at it right there. Now we're gonna let it play, and you're gonna see this open up.
in
Watch.
3D space, it's
Look
a
at that.
3D.
It's a completely different shape right here. It is freaking wild. That is wild. That's not even the same image as the
Dimensional
first
object.
one.
It's just what's the overall
Right there. Look at that.
three-dimensional, shape of it. The most interesting thing are
That's
like these
completely changed.
landing legs or engine pods that kind of pop out to maybe control it. I did see that in another video that I did. This video was a really good one to me. It was extremely interesting and believable. I mean, this object, I actually liked it so much I made a 3D printed version of it. But when you looked underneath of it, I did a bunch of stacking and everything to get as much detail as I could. It looked like it had three like pods under the bottom that were moving around as the object moved. So I think that's a possibility, right? That's one of the possibilities that these could be part of like a system like that, if it's truly indeed a craft. And yeah, so that's what it could be, right? That's one valid option. Now there's also another one, and I even hate to bring this up, and it's annoying. These stinking solar balloons. I've seen this now. This will be the second one that I've seen that has a similar shape and a similar movement, right? So here's a bunch of guys that were, I think, doing something. It's like a school thing or whatever. I don't know, but this got away from them, which is actually pretty good for what we can use this video for, to see how the behavior is once it gets up into, a little bit of altitude and it smooths out.
Oh shit.
I'll just fast forward so you can see how it moves, right? And now at ground level, right, it's going to be all kinds of crazy air going around. But as it gets higher into the air, it starts to stabilize and it forms this shape. It forms this triangle shape.
Oh shit.
And this is, that's the object that we're comparing it to. So I'm just showing, right, just what we looked at.
Dude,
And
he's
here's
just
an
a
example
bucket.
of something else that we absolutely know is a solar balloon. I have experience with these. If you saw my other video where it was almost identical, the situation where something was filmed out of the window just like this. And it really matched really well.
Oh crap.
But again, you can see how this moves as it's climbing up in altitude. It forms into that triangle shape. And you can see at the bottom, it starts to create these legs that pop down. And let's go to, and you got to realize, like, as this thing's going up in altitude, the air is going to smooth out a little bit, and it's going to eventually fill up with enough warm air where it's just going to stabilize and just stay put in space and just move along with the air itself. And as this is continuing to rise and fill in what its shape is going to be as it gets higher, you can see it starts to form this triangle, right? It's getting hard to see it because it's so far away and I had to really punch in digitally. But you can see it's forming the triangle shape.
Oh, shoot. So that
Still
might have
tumbling
just
a
been
little
a
bit,
weather
but
balloon.
still in this
That makes
triangle
kind of,
shape.
that does make
So
sense.
alternative solution, right?
Mhm.
It could legitimately be a craft, and it could be one of these guys up here too. It doesn't look
Yeah.
identical, but it looks very similar. Here's another solar balloon that I compared against, again, very similar type of object in the air. And this one really looked like it, the way, like this frame right here specifically. And you can go back and look at that video, but you know, this one matched it almost identically. And this one's not identical, but for me, you can just see how the shape is there and how you have these legs that come down and the movement, right? These things are going to be moving slowly as it's going through the air. So that's just an alternative solution for what this could be. And this was, I just want to share the, I had to go poking for it, but here's the source for that solar balloon that I'm comparing it against.
All right, guys. So that's it for that one there. We just watched ProPixel's breakdown of what he thinks. Did ProPixel just debunk this video? I think he might have. Nothing's guaranteed. You never know. It might be something legit, but I think he might have debunked this. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments down below. Let's talk about this. Again, you guys, like, subscribe, share with your friends, all the good stuff. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.